Hello, I'm Nicole Schrock, and I'm going to be your instructor for Comp 2 this summer. For the next 8 weeks together, we will barrel through a lot of content and a lot of writing, but in the end, in 8 weeks' time, you'll have your Comp 2 credit. So I know a lot of you are coming from different perspectives on this course. Some of you are getting ahead so that when you start the fall courses, you won't have as heavy of a load. Maybe some of you are different scenarios. Maybe you have a different college you attend full-time and this is a part-time situation, or maybe you're getting your degree from Northwest State. Either way, I welcome you. I know we're all coming from different walks of life, from different situations. Some of you may be, I guess, traditional college students in that you are just recent graduates and moving on. Some of you may be returning to school after a break. A long break, a short break. I've had all sorts of stories in teaching these courses for the last, I think, about 4 years. I've been teaching online here with Northwest State. I too have a story, this little introduction about me in your course, and you can read that if you wish. Don't feel like you have to. I won't have my feelings hurt. But I have taught both in the online and traditional classroom settings, both in the high school traditional classroom and online classroom, as well as the college online and traditional classroom. And college is my favorite, I'll be really honest. I just love both contexts, both the online classroom as well as the FaceTime. And the thing I miss in online when I'm teaching online is I miss seeing the faces. And so I'm offering you these videos as just to kind of keep it personal. Please be gentle. I'm not preparing these and polishing them. They are going to be a really casual conversation like this one here. The second reason is that I really miss that opportunity to clarify. When I see a quizzical look on students' faces, I'm in a classroom, I'm able to say, oh, you need some clarification on that. Whereas in this asynchronous online setting, you don't get a chance to do that. And so hopefully I can strike preemptively, give you some of these conversational question answer type situations so that when you get into the work on any given week, you have a little bit clearer concept of where I'm coming from. So with that little introduction, every week you'll get one of these videos, and I recommend that you take some time to watch the video first. While you're watching it, you may want to have your syllabus open, and you'll see me glance down because I have mine open. I tend to set everything up in a binder, a binder decorated with artwork from my child. I have 3 little boys. You can read about that if you want. And I like to have a print version of the syllabus in front of me, and you might want to do that as well. Everything else, it depends. If you're really if you like to have that piece of paper, print all you want. But I think the syllabus might be key to have in front of you. So I put everything in a binder so that I can double check and make sure when somebody says, well, this isn't, you said this and then you said this, I make my editing marks on this hard copy so that I can go in and turn in later and make sure that we get some of the bugs worked out of the course. So if you find bugs, let me know. Okay, so the syllabus looks very traditional in terms of the learning objectives, required course materials, prerequisites, and that kind of thing. I'll let you glance through those on your own. I'm sure you can read just fine without me rereading it to you. Do note that the points and evaluation policy, that's pretty approximate right now because I like to give myself some flexibility to change things, take things out as needed, maybe adjust some point settings as needed. But in general, this is what the next page of the syllabus breaks that down. And probably the thing that I would want to know the most is, what am I really doing in this class? There's basically 3 things. One, you are participating in discussion boards based on our readings. 2, you're writing papers using the writing process with a peer edit involved. And 3, I'm going to have you do some writing exercises just to enhance your writing and hopefully bolster your confidence with different aspects of your writing. There are 3 to 4 page papers in the class and 1 research paper that is 8 to 10 pages. Breathe deep here. Don't freak out on me. We'll get through that, and the way we'll lay that out hopefully is not overwhelming at any point. If it is, please communicate with me. I check my classroom email. Don't use my Northwest State email if you can. I'd prefer that you use the classroom email. I check the discussion boards. There's a general conversation there, and I try to do that a couple times a day. I'm a morning person, so I tend to get up and do it in the morning and then check it again later in the afternoon or evening. So you'll catch me one of those 2 times for sure in the morning. If you do something late at night, you'll know that I'll check it usually before 8 o'clock, often by 7. So at least that's my goal and kind of the framework I'm working from this summer. And some of you might have different hours, and I get that. That's why you're doing online, right? It's flexible. So that's the big picture. We're doing these papers. Then if you drop down to page 3, at least when I printed it out, it was page 3, and it says tentative course schedule. It probably won't have any big changes. You can probably put this on, if you use Outlook, you can load this into your Outlook calendar, and it's probably going to stay just as is. Anything in red denotes something you're going to turn in. Anything that is a discussion board activity, I want you to turn in to discussion board as well as to the assignments. Anything that does not involve discussion, you could just turn into the assignment Dropbox. So what are we doing this week? Well, starting today and working through, I work on the Monday through Sunday at midnight calendar, okay? So you have until June 10th at, I think it says 11:55 in the grade book, but I made the parameters so that you could turn things in late. And if you turn it in at midnight and it says you're late, don't worry, I give you a cushion, okay? Even 12:15, you're not going to see me go like, "Wah." Okay, a couple days late, I have to penalize that. Okay, so we're looking at the assignments due, and the first thing you have to do is a reflection activity, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. What I would do if I was taking this class is I would look at the syllabus for each week and see the things I have due. Then I would open up my course content backpack, and that's in the classroom. You'll see the little backpack icon. There's a unit announcement or agenda every week, and it gives you an overview of the entire unit. This is not, it is sometimes week by week. We often finish a whole unit in 1 week, but not always, so keep that in mind. And it just kind of reiterates and kind of explains, again, a little bit bigger picture than the syllabus, but not completely detailed. Then my worksheets tend to be pretty detailed. In fact, you'll probably say, wait a minute, what part of this is reading and what part of this is worksheet? I tried to highlight anything that was worksheet in like a different color so that when you get into, let's see if I can find an example. This might happen more next week as you get into more of the writing process, that you'll see like, okay, here's the steps to the writing process, and then it'll say assignment, and it'll be in a different color. So you know which part you're just reading for background and what part you're actually turning in. To clarify, the reason I have so much writing is that I'm missing out on all this instructional time with you, and normally these videos will be just a few minutes long. So consider this like that's kind of like the lecture and the classroom discussion, and then you see an assignment, and so that's why it's in that context. Here's what you're doing this week. Reflection activity. It's simply a fill in the blank activity, and it's partly to let me get to know you. This is also a way that we keep our first attendance count, so it's important to turn this in so that you can get to know your classmates. And the other thing I really like about this is that if you read the explanation of the exercise, it models a way of creating an academic style argument. And so each one of these actually models a template that I borrowed from another resource to show you how you can frame your own writing. So it's practice. The next activity is an MLA exercise. I always joke with students that MLA stands for Making Life Awful, but if you ever had to do footnotes and do the old school bibliographies, you know that MLA is actually Modern Language Association, and it's a much more streamlined process of giving proper citation to your work. Everything that we turn in terms of a paper for this course will use MLA, and so I do want you to have a little practice with that exercise. It should be review. And then finally, I have a thesis writing worksheet, and I don't want this to confuse you because obviously we're not writing a paper this week, but I would say my most common feedback from any writing class I ever teach is that thesis statements stump people. They're difficult, they're hard to write, and once you get the hang of it, and once you get into a groove, and once you have a really good thesis, the paper can almost write itself. Now, I'm oversimplifying obviously, but you get my idea, hopefully. So this is a worksheet. It's a template. It's a step-by-step worksheet. I have a sample response for each one so you can kind of model after. What is your subject for this? It's a graded practice. Any theme you like, if you saw something from the get to know you exercise, the reflection exercise that you'd like to elaborate on, you can use that. It can be any topic that's on your mind. Right now we're in the middle of an adoption process, so I might, use, sorry, my other phone is ringing. I might, make an argument about something that's related to some of my research with that. Research, this is fresh on the brain. This is not a research project. This is just this worksheet, okay? This is not going to move into a paper. This is just this worksheet. It is practice. It's an exercise. If this worksheet kind of works for you and makes sense to you, keep it handy and use it for our first paper, which will be next week. So there's no papers this week, just a few exercises, kind of some get the wheels turning, get used to how the way the class is set up, get acclimated to this type of learning environment, and please ask questions. Let me know if you're having any sort of concerns at all, because we really want to be able to help you and assist you in any way I can. So that said, have a great week, and I look forward to seeing those reflection worksheets come back so that I can get to know you a little bit better. Have a great one. Bye-bye.